Welcome to a video tutorial by ET System Electronic GmbH, your specialists for AC and DC power sources, electronic loads, and DC sources with power regeneration. The on-off switch for the device can be found on the front side. The standby button is used to enable or conversely disable the set values at the output. Under it is the display button, which allows you to move between different display modes. Values can be input and set with the jog dial or the select button. When the device is switched on, the ET System logo appears on the screen for a few seconds. You can set the contrast of the display with the jog dial in this time. The contrast setting remains even after the device is switched off. On the left side of the display, you can see the current output values of the device for voltage, current, power, and resistance. Since the device is in standby mode, the values are 0. On the right side of the screen, you see the default preset values, in this case for voltage and current, as the device is in preset UI mode. It also shows us that it is in standby mode, that is, the output has not been released, and also in local mode, the device is not controlled via an interface. By rotating the jog dial, you can now preset a voltage. Press to preset the current. The default values are also released at the output when you press the standby button. On the left, you can now see the set voltage and the actual current that naturally adjusts itself according to our specimen. The actual power and the resistance are also displayed. Pressing and holding the display button takes you to the configuration menu. Here, for example, you can limit the output voltage or the output current. The overvoltage protection can also be set here. In the menu item Remember Last Setting, you can choose whether the set values are to be remembered. If this item is set to On, the settings are retained even after powering off. Briefly pressing the display key allows you to see the installed interface and gives the option to change the values here. Pressing this button once brings you back to the basic display. You can now see here the impact of the voltage limit set. The factory settings allow the device to handle 600 volts, but you now cannot preset more than 300 volts. At the bottom right, you can see that the device is now in U-limit mode. Now lower the preset current until it is lower than the actually present current value. Then you will see that the mode switches automatically to the I-limit mode, so the current is kept constant. Pressing the standby switches the output off again. Press the select button to go to the mode menu. Here you can select different preset modes by turning. The UIP mode for presetting voltage, current, and power. The UIR mode for setting voltage, current, and resistance. Or PV sim mode, which is explained in a separate clip because it's more time-consuming. Go back to the UIP mode. Pressing and turning allows you to set the individual values for voltage, current, and power. Pressing the standby button releases the output. You can now change the view with the display key. You now see the current operating point of the device in a graph. It's the same with the UIR mode. Here you can also adjust the internal resistance of the source, for example, to simulate a battery, in addition to voltage and current. Standby releases the output, and you can see the currently applied values. Pressing the display button again shows us the graph with the current operating point. From the mode selection, you can also change to the SCR mode, the so-called script fashion. This will be displayed in the bottom right. With the SD card option, it is possible to load a script created on your PC on an SD card and run it. Press the Select button to read the card directory and select the appropriate script. After the script has been successfully read, Reading OK appears on the left display. Here you can see the script created on the PC. Furthermore, it is possible to create a log file on the SD card. Here, care must be taken to specify the interval in the first line. The output values will be written in the log file later. Now you can switch the display back to the basic setting. Pressing the standby button releases the output, and the device executes the statements in the script one after the other. The values can now be found in the log file corresponding to the specified interval.